You're now listening to the Adiel Gorel Show. Each episode I'll bring you the latest news from my discussions with top health and wellness experts so that you can bring yourself into better health. Today on the Adiel Gorel Show.
Unplug everything in your bedroom. And I mean everything, every lamp, everything. Because even if the thing is off, like a lamp or the TV, if it's plugged in, there's a field generated. So when you unplug it, it just sort of brings the whole field down.
By the way, as a general rule, it seems that when somebody manufactures something, even if it's good, they somehow want as many people to like it as possible. And somehow there's the notion, if it smells like fresh mint, they're going to like it more. There was a person very knowledgeable and very deep. We interviewed on this show, and they have a product which increases the nitric oxide production in your body. It's so good. And then I said, okay, I'm going to use it. But in order to have people like it, they put so much sugar in it. It was unbearable. So, I wish there were companies that said, okay, here is stuff that doesn't smell, that's not laden with sugar, but somehow it doesn't seem to be as widespread and you can't sell it as much.
Well, that's true. Like at Costco, for example, even a natural, healthy kind of laundry detergent, like Ecos, I think is the name, they only sell the lavender scented one, which is too strong for me. So I have to find it, you could find it online. So that's another way of shopping for these things.
Right. It's a very nice thing now for us. I know there are many drawbacks to, the radiation, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, but at least we have an infinite store that we can shop.
Right.
So that's a good thing. So Beth, what's your own favorite healing modality that you're using now?
I'm glad you asked me because, ever since I healed myself of this tumor, I've just been on the lookout for non-toxic, non-invasive ways of healing. And I had gotten kicked in the leg as a teenager playing soccer, and my leg never healed properly. There was a swelling that sort of never went down. And then as I aged and got to my 50s and then 60s, my leg started becoming, had varicose veins, and it was pretty gnarly looking. So I'd gone and gotten injections, saline injections and all this. And then finally I spoke to an orthopedic surgeon who said, oh, we're going to do surgery. We'll go in through your femoral artery and destroy the vein that's going down. And Then I spoke to another doctor who said, you don't want to do that because you can be in pain the rest of your life.
Wow.
So it's like, oh, okay. So then COVID hit, right? And so the surgery, if I was going to do it, was canceled. So then I found this unbelievable thing. It's a patch actually, and it's made from crystals. And when you put it on your skin, it stimulates a peptide in your body that produces stem cells. So I just want to share my screen. I'll just show you a picture of my leg before and after. Okay, so here and here. So the picture on the left is my ankle before using the patch. And then the one on the right, after 3 months, it was a kind of a miracle. The swelling went down in my foot and my ankle, and then all the varicosities. To me, it was mind blowing. And so I've been, a believer in it's called LifeWave, and they look like these. Oops, sorry, wait a minute. I'm on a standing desk, and I touched the button and the whole thing went down. Anyway, it looks like this, like a Band-Aid, and you wear it on the back of your neck. And it's kind of amazing that.
Oh, wait. So you wore it on the back of your neck, not on the foot there, where
that's right.
Just in the back of your neck.
That's why I was so blown away, because it's not like there's no medicine in the patch. So it wasn't like it was doing something to the veins, it was stimulating my body's own stem cell production. So our stem cells are the cells that regenerate, repair. They build tissues and muscles and glands and organs, in embryos. And you've heard of people getting stem cell injections if they're in pain. Very costly and can be painful, and we don't even know what's in those injections sometimes. So this is just like this non-toxic patch. So this has become my life's mission right now, to just let as many people know about this. I've become a distributor of this product, and I've just seen lives change. A friend with multiple sclerosis, she had neuropathy in her feet, couldn't feel the bottom of the feet. She said now she can feel her toes again. She wakes up every morning like a baby playing with her toes because she's just so excited. And another friend with Parkinson's, she also, her balance is better. She doesn't need a handrail to walk down the stairs anymore. This is a woman who was wanting to kill herself when she was diagnosed, in her 60s with Parkinson's. She thought it was a death sentence, and now she's got a life back. So
very, very, very interesting. So Beth, you talk about how to avoid getting toxins into our body, but obviously we all, especially those of us who have been around a couple of years, carry toxins inside of us already. So to detox, what are your favorite modalities, like saunas, sweating? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I did that during, when I was getting rid of my tumor. I would sit in a sauna every day and sweat. A rebounder, those mini trampolines, I would jump on that to move the lymph, because our lymph is a whole other system that gets ignored very often. And so it's important to do that. Getting out in sun in the morning, getting sun on your skin, getting sun in your eyes, building up our vitamin D stores is really excellent. And then just LifeWave makes a glutathione patch, which I love because glutathione is a major antioxidant and helps to detoxify. And so the patch increases your glutathione by 300% rather than taking something that has to go through your stomach and your liver. So I wear that every day.
When it comes to saunas, you're a journalist, and sometimes you used to be, journalist, and I find journalists to be some of the best resources because you have this kind of mind, the investigative mind. I don't know if you went down that path about far infrared, near infrared. If you haven't, of course,
Yeah.
but if you have, would love to hear about it.
Yeah, so the far infrared sauna, I actually have one, a portable one that's, you sit in it, like there's a chair, and then you zip up the thing. So your head's out, you could put your hands out too, so you could read. When I had a bigger home, I had a wooden one, more expensive. Now I'm living in a smaller place, and so I have this portable one, and it's I have information about that on both of them on my website, because I have a whole recommended products.
Yeah, so that kind of leads us to the next question, which is a big subject, but it's a great thread. So some of those portable saunas have a higher, EMF. I'm sure you're not going to use one of those. I'm
Right.
sure you've used your meters. So,
Absolutely.
so there is a model, or there is a where you can get one that does not have a lot of EMF.
Correct. That's the one that I use.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we would love to know. So that's on your website.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that's really good to know, because that has a couple of benefits. Number one, it's portable, doesn't really take up a lot of space. You said you've downsized and now you don't have as much room. That's a big thing. The other thing, it's probably less costly than a big box that you have to assemble in your home. So it's very good for us to know. I believe that sweating and being in a sauna can help a lot. As you know, I have rebounders all over my house because I want my kids to also use them. But now let's talk about EMF. We are bathed in a sea of EMFs. You told me at the beginning of this show that you are using a direct cable, which I love because you have strong signal. But most of us are on Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi needs to be strong enough to have this video type of a Zoom call. But that's only one thing. We put our phones in our front pockets, right next to our genitals. We put them in our back pocket, again, next to our genitals. Some women put them right here. I mean, my God, and that's only the cell phone. So that's an entire area, and I would love for you, to get into it a little bit.
I want to share a really simple tip that I discovered that's been life-changing with my phone. Let me pull it over here. So, there's airplane mode, which shuts your phone off, basically. So impractical for most people. So, but you can do this one little trick on your phone. You go to settings, this little silver thing here, this settings, and then you go to, so right now my phone is on airplane mode, but see it says cellular data. That's what I want you to turn off. If you turn off your cellular data, the field on the phone drops so dramatically that it's, in my opinion, safer to wear it on you. I mean, I don't think we should be wearing our phones on us like that, but if you have to or carry it, okay, what it allows is you can still make phone calls and receive phone calls. So when you're holding a phone, it's best to keep the cellular data off. What it doesn't let you do is it doesn't let you go surf the web, or you can't talk to Siri. You can't say Siri, blah, blah, blah. You can't use Google Maps, but you can text. You can't get iMessages. You can't send or receive iMessages, but you can still send texts. But it's huge and it's easy to do, and if you can remember. And so when I'm next to my phone, I try to just keep it in with the cellular data off. And then every once in a while, I'll turn it on to see, did I get iMessages coming in? Did I get any, messages from Messenger or whatever? Because that won't show when it's off.
So cellular data is where a lot of the communication with the tower happens, trying to extract stuff all the time for the data. That's a good tip. Thank you very much. You gave it for the iPhone, which is what you use. But of course, for example, I use, the Samsung, but I'm sure there is an equivalent. So that's really good to know. Now, let's talk about EMFs, not just on the phone. I mean, in our homes, you're in a hotel, you are in an environment, there's a Wi-Fi in every room, there's a central Wi-Fi, what can we do, at least in our homes, to start making a dent in this incredible sea of EMFs?
Well, number one thing to do is to turn your Wi-Fi router off at night. It's very simple to do. Either there's a little switch, or you can set up a timer that shuts it off at 11 and turns it back on. If you want to get up and get right on your computer at 7, you can do that. You can get a Wi-Fi router guard, and it's a cage, and that really helps bring the fields down, because when I use meters, these fields will go back 10, 15 feet, that you have to stay away from this thing. Just like a microwave oven, when you turn that microwave on, you're getting irradiated. You have to really step back at least 3 feet, sometimes 4. It depends on how old your microwave is. But the router really goes, 10, sometimes 15 feet around. So turn it off at night, and get the guard so you have it during the day. And don't have it like sitting right by your ankles. Like I'll go into people's homes. The whole home is sort of quiet. Then I get into the office, the home office. They've got the cell phone sitting there, the router right by their ankles, the computer's on with Bluetooth. Then there's, the cordless phones. That gives off another lot of, even more so than your cell phone, because it's communicating, that cordless phones, the base station's communicating with a handheld in another room. So you're just being all the time. So I don't like those cordless phones at all.
So wait a second. So let's say that somebody has a cordless phone, and the cordless phone base is 20 feet away from their beautiful yard. It's a sunny day. They get a phone call. They say, great, I'll grab my phone and I'll walk in the yard and talk on the phone. Not good?
No, that's fine. I'm talking about the second base. You have a base station, and then you have, let's say you picked up that phone, but then there's another phone in your bedroom, sitting on a little cradle. That's what I don't like, where there's the base station and then the one across the house, that's talking to each other. So if you want a cordless phone, just get one. Don't go for the walkie-talkie one. Do you know what I mean?
So if you get one, you have a little base, you can grab your phone, walk around the house, the yard.
Yes.
The phone itself will communicate. Obviously, it'll get signals from the base, but those are not so bad.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't want them on your desk. You don't have them everything next to you. So distance is your friend with everything in electronics.
Yeah, so I have a question about this. Let's say somebody has a Wi-Fi router and now they put them in a Faraday box, like you said, to shield.
Right.
However, the Faraday box will still let the Wi-Fi signal travel to devices throughout the house?
Yes, it might. If you have a very large house, it might cut it down a little bit. And I've been to homes where they have these boosters everywhere. Those boosters are like screaming. It's just intense. We are electrical beings, when you get an EKG or an EEG, it's measuring electrical activity in our brains and in our hearts.
Of course.
When we have these units so close to us, it's impacting us. People need to understand this. It's impacting us, especially children, teenagers.
Beth, we had an interview with a healer, a doctor who uses sound waves to recalibrate on it. These are only sound waves. We are made of waves. All we are, you, me, the microphone, we are all waves. Obviously, it'll have an effect. So, that is quite important. But let me ask you this. You came to my house, you pinpointed what to do. I put a Faraday cage, I turn it off at night. I have two little tyrants in my house who scream and yell if I turn it off at night, because they are vampires who live at night. You know how that is with the teenagers. But I did everything well, let's say. However, even though I don't have such a small house, I see on my phone, I'm totally connected and can read neighbor on one side, neighbor on the other side. They have big houses. I have a big house. Still, they must have the most powerful Wi-Fi's in the universe. My neighbors probably don't think for a second about, we need to turn off at night. So I'm sleeping at night, even if I did everything right, sleeping at night with my neighbor's wife. So let's say I can even talk to my neighbor and convince them to turn off the Wi-Fi, which I don't think will happen because they have a teenage kid. So now, what do? You paint, the inside of your house?
Well, there is paint you can buy. There are tents you could put over your bed. The thing is, if you're sleeping well, and you've adapted, you're probably fine. It's the people who are just, up all night, can't sleep, ringing in the ears, headaches. They need to start to find other ways. And there are companies out there that are harmonizing devices that are not just blocking, but they actually harmonize. And I've been doing research on that to see what works and what doesn't. So yeah, I have something on my desk right now. I don't think it's doing anything, but anyway, I'm experimenting with these things.
Yeah, well, that's important to know. When you say harmonizing, I studied a lot of physics and math in my background. I can see it. If you put a counter wave, it's like noise canceling in a way.
Exactly.
You put a counter wave. It's a certain type of, in physics, we call it interference. But, you have constructive, this is good stuff. But you said, if you sleep well, you're okay. But, people could say things like this. I sleep well, but this has been a stressful week. So my mind was very busy and occupied. When I went to go to the bathroom, I couldn't go back to sleep. How do you know it's from the stressful week or the Wi-Fi signal from the neighbor, or both?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry so much about the Wi-Fi signal from the neighbor. I understand what you're saying, that you can see it on your phone. I see it on mine. I've got like 6, Maggie's phone, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But
Maggie's farm. Now it's Maggie's phone.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's far enough away. I keep talking about distance is your key. It's not like Maggie's farm or phone is in your bedroom. It's far enough away. You're picking up a weak signal.
Yeah.
So it's the strong stuff that's the most concerning. It's the
see.
phone next to your bed. It's the Wi-Fi. It's the electricity. There's something called dirty electricity that, so when I travel, I bring these filters with me. They're called green wave filters, and I plug them in. And I just realized, as I was talking, I left it in the hotel. I was in Florida a few days ago and forgot to take it out of the wall. Someone's going to benefit from it. But anyway, so yeah, I travel with them. I put them in my home. So again, that's also on my website. And then the other thing that I've been doing lately, and I tell people to do, is either unplug everything in your bedroom. And I mean everything, every lamp, everything. Because even if the thing is off, like a lamp or the TV, if it's plugged in, there's a field generated. So when you unplug it, it just sort of brings the whole field down. And an alternative is to the circuit breaker, turn it off to your bedroom at night. So that, I mean, try it as an experiment. It's pretty powerful. Just get nothing in there. It's just like camping out,
Very, very good, very useful. And excuse me, the most important thing, very simple. It's very simple stuff to do. So Beth, obviously our viewers are looking at this, listening to us. How can they get this simple but deep tips and expertise and specific to their home? Please tell us all the ways in which we can reach you, we can use your expertise, how you can work with. Do you work one-on-one? I want to know it all.
Okay. Yes, I do work one-on-one. As I mentioned, I go into people's homes. I'm in the Bay Area right now, but I also work via Zoom and Skype, and also.
By the way, that's the San Francisco Bay Area.
That's right, San Francisco Bay Area. I have my website. People go to bethgreer.com. You can see all my recommended products and how to contact me. And also, I have a free gift. Should I talk about that?
Oh yeah. That's right. You mentioned. So for our viewers, Beth has a special gift. I'm very curious. I want to get it. How can we get, and what is it?
It's an ebook that I wrote called How to Activate Your Stem Cells for Healing and Vitality. And so if you go to truevitalityproject.com, you can.
Project or projects?
No S.
No S.
Yeah. truevitalityproject.com, and you can read all about how to do this and then download the ebook. And there's pictures both of my leg, of my friend Gail, had facial surgery, skin cancer surgery. She's 77. She had a wound that opened up on her face, and her doctor said it'll take a year for your wound to heal. 21 days on the patch, her skin was
right. So that's a nice gift. And so Beth, let's say one of our viewers now says, okay, listen, clearly she has a good sense of what's going on. I want to share her in my home. We still are in the COVID era, so it's going to be by Zoom. How can they reach you? How can they work with you? What's the procedure?
Right. Well, you can either just go to my website, bethgreer.com, or you can email me, beth@bethgreer.com. And I'm happy to talk to you and, spend 15, 20 minutes on the phone, finding out what your needs are, complimentary. And then I can share with you how I can help you.
Very good. So this is really nice. Now, one little question. You were just in Florida, and now you came back from the Tampa Bay area to the San Francisco Bay area. You just go from bay to bay. That's your path. So, yeah, but you are on a plane, obviously. So when you're on a plane, I think there is a new amount of new things that can happen, radiation, things. What do you do when you're on a plane?
Well, I make sure I walk around, that's for sure. Drink a lot of liquid, water in particular, so that because it's very dehydrating up there. And so you want to stay hydrated.
But what about, the radiation? The plane is a radiation source.
Yeah, luckily this plane didn't have, some planes have those TVs in front of you and back of you. That's killer. These didn't. So it felt like, not so bad. And the flight wasn't that long. It was an hour to LA and then changed planes 4 hours to Tampa. So it wasn't like a terrible thing. And I wore a mask made of silver mesh, which is antimicrobial, antiviral, antibacterial. So I didn't get hassled by anybody and I could breathe and I felt safe.
So there is a bit of a trade-off these days when you fly. Because we know we should drink a lot. However, drinking a lot may get you to that scariest little space on the plane, the bathroom, right, which nowadays I really don't want to be there. So that's like a trade-off here. Yeah.
It's true. I only used it once. So
that's good.
It was in and out fast, right?
Well, Beth, we certainly are I know I told you personally that I can't wait to use, your expertise. We may do it by Zoom, we may do it in person, but I'm sure you'll come to my home and there will be rejects. Is that a movie? There will be rejects. So, and I hope that our viewers can gain this benefit because this really is life-changing. So Beth, I'd like to thank you so much for being with us today. And I hope to see you very soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me today for the second part of our amazing interview. If you didn't catch part 1, don't miss out. The link is in the description below for you. And be sure to click the subscribe button for more videos.